Hello and welcome back to the NIST Cybersecurity Framework Learning Series. Today I'm going to walk you through the Oversight category within the Govern function. This category ensures that the results of all risk management activities are used to improve the overall strategy and approach of future risk management activities, also known as continuous improvement. The intent here is to use the output of our past work as input for our future work and not just document and record everything that we've been doing. Within this category are 3 subcategories, and I want to take some time to call out the differences among them before we dive into each one, because when I was learning this, I could swear they were all identical, and to me they seem out of order. So here's some things to note as we move along in this presentation. Notice the highlighted words for each of these subcategories. These are the keys to the intent of each one. OV01 uses the phrase, strategy outcomes are reviewed. OV02 uses the phrase, strategy is reviewed. OV03 uses the phrase, performance is evaluated and reviewed. So right off the bat, you can see that 01 is the outcome of 02. So to me, these are out of order and should be swapped, but I'm not the National Institute of Standards and Technology, so I'm going to assume they've done their homework on it. I just wanted to highlight it in case it doesn't make sense to anyone else. So what are some of the other differences? Well, the difference between a strategy outcome and just the strategy is that for the generic strategy statement, we're reviewing at the highest level, the general approach that this risk management strategy is taking. When we say strategy outcomes, it means we're looking for the actual result of that strategy, for tangible artifacts and deliverables produced by that strategy, and what type of information we can learn to improve our future strategy. For example, the strategy in OV02 might be that our business is going to prioritize systems based on criticality. We're going to assign clear ownership of systems and points of contact with the communication sheet. And we're going to define our risk tolerances for each system. That's our strategy. That's our high-level approach to risk management. And the outcomes for this strategy would be things like the actual list, the prioritized list of systems, the points of contact, the communication sheet with each system owner, and a threat model of our systems ranked low, medium, and high based on likelihoods and impacts. These are considered strategy outcomes. And finally, the performance evaluation from OV03 is an even more precise and granular measurement of the strategy outcomes. So it's an even deeper analysis of our prioritized criticality list, of our point of contact communication sheet, and of our threat model. So with all that said, let's dive into each one individually, and hopefully you'll hear these differences among each subcategory as we go along. GV.OV 01 Cybersecurity risk management strategy outcomes are reviewed to inform and adjust strategy and direction. So the owner or manager examines what the current approach has actually produced, such as whether the appropriate communication channels are being used based on the communication sheet and which systems are being prioritized. These results reveal whether the existing controls are working as intended. Now, if outcomes show that there's still delays and confusion among staff in regard to escalating incidents and points of contact, leadership might decide to increase awareness of that communication sheet and remind people that it's available and to use it more frequently. On the other hand, consistently strong results in high impact areas can confirm that the current direction remains sound. By treating outcomes as practical feedback, the business keeps its cybersecurity strategy grounded in the daily reality without needing a large security team. GV.OV 2. The cybersecurity risk management strategy is reviewed and adjusted to ensure coverage of organizational requirements and risks. So for this subcategory, the owner or manager examines whether the written or agreed approach still addresses current systems, business needs, and threats. This includes checking that the points of contact and the threat model remain within scope, and that new tools or changing customer expectations have not created new gaps. If the business recently added a new application or system, the strategy is updated to include those platforms and their associated risks. Likewise, if a new type of phishing targeting your industry becomes more common, then the strategy is revised to reflect that threat. This type of review ensures that the plan stays complete and relevant. GV.OV 03. Organizational cybersecurity risk management performance is evaluated and reviewed for adjustments needed. In this case, simple, practical indicators are analyzed for opportunities to improve. These metrics show whether the current approach is working in daily operations rather than only on paper. Strong performance in protecting critical systems and avoiding downtime may confirm that major changes are unnecessary, while weaker results in the threat model can signal the need for modest improvements. For example, is the threat model reflecting reality? Are the risks and threats that were outlined actually manifesting? It might have room to be adjusted for risks that are appearing versus risks that are out in the wild but not affecting your business. Maybe some of these threat models were developed around CVEs that came out that are not applicable to your systems. So that's going to do it for the oversight category within the govern function. And don't forget that this oversight category is meant to ensure that all your risk management activities are reviewed and measured, and that all of those metrics go toward improving the risk management program. All three of these subcategories work together to tell leadership if and how well risk management is working and what might be needed to improve it. So thank you for watching, and be sure to check out my other videos in this series about the other functions, categories, and subcategories of the NIST cybersecurity framework.